You just got rich. Congratulations. Now here's the terrifying truth that nobody tells you. 70% of lottery winners go completely broke within just 5 years. Professional athletes who make millions bankrupt within 3 years of hanging up their jerseys. People who receive massive inheritances, 90% lose every single dollar within one generation. Sudden wealth isn't a blessing if you don't know what to do with it. It's a test, and most people fail spectacularly. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you 13 mind-blowing strategies that the truly wealthy use to not just keep their money, but multiply it exponentially while everyone around them is going broke. Whether you just won the lottery, received an inheritance, sold your business, got a massive signing bonus, struck gold with cryptocurrency, or cashed out stock options, this video could literally be worth millions to you. Because at tip number 7, I'll reveal the single biggest mistake that destroys new millionaires faster than anything else, and it's probably not what you think. So if you're suddenly wealthy, about to be, or just preparing for that moment, you need to hear every single word I'm about to say. Let's make sure you're not another cautionary tale. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Tips Mayor, where we are helping you live smarter, not harder. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you never miss a strategic skill video that can change your financial and professional game. Now, before we dive into these tips, let me be crystal clear about something. Sudden wealth is simultaneously the best and worst thing that can happen to you. Best because of the obvious reasons: financial security, freedom, opportunities. Worst because money is an amplifier. It amplifies everything about you: your habits, your character, your relationships, your problems, and especially your weaknesses. Studies from wealth management firms show that people who suddenly come into money without proper financial education actually make worse decisions than if they'd never gotten the money at all. That's not an exaggeration. The psychological impact of sudden wealth combined with financial illiteracy is more destructive than staying at your previous income level. But you're here, watching this video, seeking knowledge. That already puts you ahead of 90% of people who find themselves suddenly wealthy. You're taking the first step: education before action. As we go through these 13 tips, think carefully about which ones apply to your specific situation. Drop a comment at the end telling me which tip resonated most with you. Starting at number 13, and this might be the hardest tip to follow, but it's absolutely critical. Tell absolutely nobody about your sudden wealth. Not immediately, not for a while. And I mean nobody. The moment people know you have money, everything changes. You don't just become wealthy, you become a target. Let me tell you about Jack Wierker. On Christmas Day 2002, this West Virginia businessman won a $315 million Powerball jackpot. He told everyone. He appeared on national television. Years later, he repeatedly said that winning the lottery was the worst thing that ever happened to him. Here's the psychology you need to understand. Money fundamentally changes how people perceive you. You're no longer their friend. In their minds, you've become their ATM. Every relationship becomes transactional. You cannot win once the information is out. So here's exactly what you need to do. Tell nobody for at least 6 months, preferably a full year. The only exception is your spouse, and even then, wait until you've secured legal and financial advice first. Give yourself time to build proper protections before anyone knows there's anything to protect. This waiting period is not dishonest, it's essential survival. Moving to number 12. And this is your very first action item after sudden wealth. Hire a fiduciary financial advisor immediately. And I must stress the word fiduciary because there is a massive, life-changing difference that most people never understand. Regular financial advisors, the ones at banks or investment firms, are legally allowed to sell you products that benefit them more than you. High-fee mutual funds that pay fat commissions. Whole life insurance policies that make them money while being terrible for you. They just have to avoid doing something egregiously bad. A fiduciary, on the other hand, is legally obligated to act in your absolute best interest 100% of the time. They can't recommend products that benefit them at your expense. This distinction will save you hundreds of thousands, potentially millions. Let me give you a real example. A client inherited $3 million and was placed into investments and insurance products that generated enormous fees and commissions. A fiduciary later restructured everything, reduced costs dramatically, improved returns, and saved the client over $1 million in the long run. That is the power of one phone call to the right person. Here's exactly how to find one. Google Only Fiduciary Financial Advisor plus your city. Do not let your bank handle this. Do not let a family member who knows about money handle this. This decision is worth millions. Treat it accordingly. At number 11, something that seems obvious but people skip when they get sudden wealth. Pay off all high-interest debt first, and I mean immediately. Every dollar of debt at 18 or 22% interest costs you far more than any investment can reliably return. But beyond the math, debt is psychological weight. True wealth isn't just a number in a bank account. It's having zero obligations, owing nobody anything, complete freedom. So here's your action plan, then pay them all off, every last one. Start your wealth journey with a completely clean slate, owing nothing to anyone. You are not wealthy if you owe money. You are leveraged. True wealth starts at zero debt. Coming in at number 10, and this is perhaps the most important psychological protection you can give yourself. Don't touch the money for 90 days, not for purchases, not for gifts, not for anything except the debt payoff we just discussed, 90 full days of forced patience. Financial advisors who specialize in this area actually have a name for it: sudden wealth syndrome. It's a recognized psychological phenomenon, and its primary symptom is impulsive spending that feels completely rational at the time. The only difference is patience. Here's exactly what to do. Set a calendar reminder for day 90. During the wait, do one productive thing. Make a list. Every time you want to buy something, write it down with the price and why you want it. At day 90, review the list. This waiting period will save you from hundreds of thousands in regrettable purchases. At number 9, something that sounds counterintuitive after I just told you not to touch the money. Establish a splurge budget of 5 to 10%, and this is your psychological pressure release valve. Here's the reality: telling yourself you can never spend anything is unsustainable. Complete restriction often leads to reckless spending later. You need a middle path that allows you to celebrate your success while still protecting your long-term future. Marcus built a tech startup from scratch over 7 years. When he finally sold it, he set aside a small percentage as his celebration fund. He bought a few things he genuinely wanted, enjoyed the moment, and invested the rest. Years later, he had no regrets because the celebration was planned, controlled, and guilt-free. Here's your action plan. After your 90-day waiting period ends, calculate 5 to 10% of your windfall and make that your splurge budget. Once it's gone, there is no refilling it. Focus on experiences over possessions where possible. When the splurge fund is empty, close that chapter and never look back. The remaining 90 to 95% is now building wealth forever. Now, if you're thinking these first tips are too conservative, tip number 7 is about to completely change your perspective. It's the single biggest destroyer of new wealth, and 90% of suddenly wealthy people fall directly into this trap. But first, protection. Because you can't build wealth if you can't keep it. Coming in at number 8, and this is where we shift from managing money to protecting it. Max out every asset protection strategy available to you, because the wealthier you become, the bigger a target you are. Without protection, one car accident, one slip and fall on your property, or one messy divorce can wipe out generational wealth. The truly wealthy don't keep assets in their personal names. They use legal structures that help protect what they've built. Here are the 4 protection layers you need: umbrella insurance, a living trust, LLCs for major assets, and for larger fortunes, asset protection trusts. Within your first 30 days of receiving sudden wealth, schedule a consultation with an attorney who specializes in high net worth asset protection, not a general practice lawyer, a specialist. Set up umbrella insurance immediately. It takes one phone call. You're spending a relatively small amount today to protect millions for years to come. That is the easiest decision you will ever make. And here we are at number 7, the big one, the wealth destroyer. The trap that catches almost everyone. Avoid lifestyle inflation at all costs, because this is the single biggest reason that people who suddenly get rich end up broke. Lifestyle inflation is when your spending automatically rises to match your wealth. Each upgrade triggers a cascade of additional upgrades, and before you know it, you're spending enormous amounts of money just to maintain your lifestyle. The truly wealthy stay wealthy by living below their means. Warren Buffett still lives in the house he bought decades ago. And Mark Zuckerberg is known for living far more simply than his wealth would allow. They understand that money spent on status and appearances is money that can't compound and grow. They'd rather be actually wealthy than look wealthy. Here's your action plan. First, commit to keeping your lifestyle increases modest, even after the 90-day waiting period. Second, automate wealth-building transfers immediately so the money works before you can spend it. Third, find your identity outside of possessions and status because the things you own end up owning you. And fourth, remember that freedom is worth infinitely more than status. Would you rather have millions invested and working for you, or an expensive lifestyle with little real wealth underneath it? Choose freedom every time. At number 6, we talk about what you actually do with the wealth you've protected. Invest conservatively for long-term growth. And yes, I know that sounds boring. But boring is exactly what you want when it comes to preserving and growing sudden wealth. The moment you come into significant money, you will be absolutely swarmed with investment opportunities. Cryptocurrency schemes, guaranteed business ideas, exclusive investment funds, and people promising extraordinary returns. And 95% of these will lose your money. Not might lose, will lose. A lottery winner from Florida won $5.6 million after taxes. Within months, he invested $1 million with someone promising extraordinary returns. It turned out to be a Ponzi scheme, and every dollar was gone. Meanwhile, people who simply place their money into diversified index funds and leave it alone often end up far wealthier over the long run. Here's the truth the investment industry doesn't like to advertise. Simple, boring index fund investing beats the vast majority of professional fund managers over long periods of time. Work with your fiduciary advisor to create a written investment plan, then do nothing. Don't check it every day. Don't react to headlines. Don't chase the next Bitcoin run. Ignore everyone promising unusually high returns. They are either taking extreme risks or selling you a fantasy. Boring and rich beats exciting and broke every single time. Moving to number 5, and this is where we shift from protecting wealth to making wealth work perpetually for you. Create multiple income streams from your wealth so your money generates money forever. Here's the fundamental concept. If your wealth is just sitting there, even invested for growth, you're playing pure defense. The goal is to structure your wealth to generate income through dividends, interest, and other income-producing assets. That's generational wealth. Sarah inherited $3 million when her parents passed unexpectedly. Instead of focusing only on preserving the money, she worked with her advisor to build multiple income streams from her wealth. The income generated by her investments covered her lifestyle, allowing her to reinvest a portion of what she earned every year. Over time, both her income and her overall wealth continued to grow. She focused on income generation, not just preservation. Here's your action plan. Calculate how much annual income you genuinely need to live comfortably. Work with your fiduciary advisor to build a diversified portfolio designed to generate reliable income over the long term. Establish the iron rule. You spend only the income, never the principal. Reinvest at least 25 to 50% of that income during the first several years whenever possible. This strategy means that in 20 years, you'll be wealthier than you are today and earning more income than you are today. That is sustainable wealth, not temporarily rich. Coming in at number 4, and this is something most people delay but absolutely cannot. Set up comprehensive trusts and estate planning immediately, because without it, a significant portion of your wealth could vanish the moment you die. Here's the brutal reality. Without proper planning, your estate can become tied up in legal proceedings, family disputes, unnecessary taxes, and delays that can last for years. Prince died without a will, a trust, or any meaningful estate planning. His estate immediately became entangled in probate and lengthy legal battles. Millions were lost in taxes, legal fees, and administration costs. All of this could have been avoided with proper estate planning. Here are the essential documents you need immediately: a revocable living trust, a will, a healthcare directive, and a durable power of attorney. Within 60 days of receiving your windfall, hire an estate planning attorney who specializes in high net worth clients, not a generalist, a specialist. Expect to pay $5,000 to $20,000. Set up your revocable living trust first, then begin moving your major assets into the trust and creating the supporting documents needed to protect your estate. This protects your legacy, your family, your wishes, and ensures your wealth goes exactly where you want it to go. At number 3, we need to talk about the hardest part of sudden wealth that nobody prepares you for. Saying no to friends and family, constantly and firmly, even when it makes you feel like a terrible person. The moment people know you're wealthy, the requests start. They never stop. They only escalate. But here's the truth that's hard to hear. Their poor planning and their emergencies are not your financial responsibility. David, not his real name, won $8 million. He's a genuinely good person. Over the next 2 years, he gave away more than $800,000 to family members and friends who needed help. When he finally started saying no because his wealth was draining, those same people called him greedy. They said the money had changed him and many stopped speaking to him. He lost the relationships anyway, but now he'd also lost a large portion of his wealth. You cannot win once people see you as a financial resource instead of a person. Here's the protection strategy that actually works. Set a blanket policy and use external authority as the reason. When people ask for money, simply explain that your financial plan doesn't allow personal loans or gifts. If someone has a genuine need and you genuinely want to help, offer to pay the expense directly rather than handing over cash. This ensures the money goes where it's supposed to go. Remember, true friends and family respect your boundaries. Those who don't were only after the money anyway. You're allowed to say no. You owe no one access to your wealth. At number 2, and this is your long-term protective armor. Learn financial literacy aggressively and continuously, because knowledge is the only thing that permanently protects wealth. Here's what most people don't realize. You can hire the best advisors, the best attorneys, the best accountants in the world, and you're still vulnerable if you don't understand basic financial concepts yourself. A business owner sold his company for $10 million. Brilliant in his field, but financially illiterate. He relied completely on his advisor for every major financial decision. Over 5 years, he lost $4 million through fees, underperformance, and bad advice, and didn't even realize it because he couldn't properly evaluate what was happening. Eventually, he educated himself, hired a proper fiduciary, and transformed the way he managed his wealth. His education made him unexploitable for the rest of his life. Starting today, commit to one financial book per month for 12 months. Follow legitimate financial educators, not get-rich-quick influencers, but people teaching real financial fundamentals. Take the time to understand the basics of investing, taxes, insurance, and wealth preservation. And most importantly, before making any major financial decision, research it until you understand it completely. Never invest in something you can't explain to a 10-year-old. Education is the best investment you'll ever make because, unlike money, it can never be taken from you, and it compounds in value every year for the rest of your life. And here we are at number 1, the ultimate truth that everything else on this list builds upon. Remember that money is a tool, not the goal. It is a means to an end, never the end itself. Here's what absolutely nobody tells you about sudden wealth. The money won't make you happy. Wealth solves money problems, but it does not solve life problems. And often it creates entirely new ones you never imagined. Here's the real danger. Money amplifies who you already are. Money is a magnifying glass on your character, your values, and your deepest problems. It doesn't fix them, it enlarges them. Alex built a successful software company and sold it for millions. He thought he'd won at life. Instead, he lost his sense of purpose and direction. What saved him was a single realization: money was never the goal. Purpose, contribution, and meaning were the goal. Today, his wealth gives him freedom and the ability to contribute, but the happiness comes from purpose, relationships, health, and meaning. Those things existed before the money, and they exist independently of it. Here's the perspective shift you must make. Money buys time, security, experiences, and the ability to help others. It does not buy meaning, purpose, love, fulfillment, or respect. Those come from how you use the tool. The happiest, wealthy people ask, how can I use this to improve my life and others' lives? Not, how can I prove to the world that I'm rich? Here's your final action plan. First, define your purpose beyond money. Write down what you want to accomplish, what legacy you want to leave, and what problems you want to help solve. Maintain the relationships and values that mattered before the wealth arrived. Use your wealth for experiences, growth, and impact rather than status and appearances. And most importantly, remember every single day, you are not your money. You were valuable before the windfall. You are the same person. Your worth as a human being is completely independent of your net worth. Money is a tool. Use it wisely, purposefully, and with intention, and it will serve you and those you love for generations. Alright, let's bring this home. We've covered 13 mind-blowing tips for when you suddenly get rich. Say no to friends and family constantly because giving money away can destroy both wealth and relationships. Learn financial literacy aggressively because knowledge is the only permanent protection. And remember that money is a tool, not the goal. Use it to build meaning, freedom, and impact, not to accumulate status. Sudden wealth is a test of character, wisdom, and discipline. It reveals who you really are and separates those who understand money from those who are controlled by it. The difference between becoming a cautionary tale or building generational wealth comes down to these 13 principles. Come back to this video when the moment arrives. Bookmark it, share it with someone who needs it. And most importantly, actually implement these strategies. They are the difference between being temporarily rich and permanently wealthy. If you found these insights helpful, give this video a thumbs up and share it with friends who need to improve their financial life. Now, I want to hear from you. If you suddenly received $1 million tomorrow, which of these 13 tips would be the hardest for you to follow? Would it be telling nobody? Avoiding lifestyle inflation? Saying no to family? Which one would test you the most? Drop your answer in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to Tipsmare and hit the notification bell so you never miss more high-impact finance and success videos. Also, check out our other videos for more tips on building a stronger financial future and becoming a better version of yourself. This is Tipsmare, helping you live smarter, not harder. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.